So we're back out for another hike and wild camp today. I'm in the Yorkshire Dales with Andy and Chris. So this is actually a bit of a warm up and testing some gear for the Cumbria Way, which I'll be doing with Andy in June. It's a little bit breezy, but other than that, gorgeous. Just look at it. The views are incredible. So we've done 7 or 8 miles to get here. This place is called High Seat, so I think we're pretty much on the border of North Yorkshire and Cumbria. I've packed pretty light for this trip, and this wind's going to be a good test for the tent. I love seeing that haze over the mountains. There's a bit of low cloud rolling in, but you can just pick out some of the summits in the Lake District. So Andy's gone with his MLD tarp today. And Chris has bought his new DCF notch Lee. Thing of beauty this is, mate. Cheers. The material looks like tissue paper, but it's incredibly strong. Nice to get out that wind a little bit. So I've stripped my gear back quite a lot. Got a 2 days food there. I've got my electronics, but all my extras, little goodie bag, whatever they call it these days, that weighs a lot less than normal. Trying out a few different bits and bobs. Not sure if this is the sleeping pad I'm going to go with, or if this is the quilt I'm going with. So I think the route we're taking on the Cumbria Way is 77 miles. We're going to be doing it over 5 days. So it's going to take quite a lot of thought to make sure I bring the right gear. So I've still not decided if I'm taking a gas stove or an alcohol stove. Stash with me today. So I've worked it out, I can get between 20 and 24 boils out of one of these containers, so that should be plenty for a 5-day trip. So I've got to work out how much food we need to take as well. Probably not going to take it all in one go. Enough for a couple of days and then restock when we call in one of the towns like Keswick. So the stash uses just under 4 grams of fuel for 2 cups of water. But while my food's rehydrating, Andy advised me to come and have a look at this. Stunning. What is it? Absolutely stunning. Andy's words, not mine. It's starting to get a little bit chilly. The sun looks really weird through that cloud. So I won't be taking any of these on the Cumbria Way. Although the plan is, if we get a chance, to stop off at the odd pub for a meal, and some campsites as well. It's not all going to be wild camping. It's nice to have a shower. It's more about, you know, the adventure of just going 70 odd miles throughout the Lake District. Ready for this? Absolutely freezing. You wouldn't think it's June tomorrow, I think. That wind is bitterly cold. Just opening up for a moment, look. Wow. It's beautiful. There's Bigfoot. Told you it was real. Oh, look at that. Almost missed it. That wind's not planning on settling down anytime soon. Can't believe it's still light though at nearly 10 o'clock. So I'm having a go with some different footwear. So I've gone for a wide footbox trail runner. So these are Lone Peak Ultras. I've got a 0 drop as well, so it should help me out with my knees a little bit, although it will work me calves and lower legs a bit more. So I've used them for a bit of everyday walking. This is the first time I've used them up in the hills and going over some of those tufts and stuff through the, you know, uneven ground. It's definitely had a bit of a workout around the, you know, the toe areas. Feels like my feet have been spreading out more, which is a good thing. But it's taken a little bit of getting used to. Yeah, so far so good. I haven't brought my anemometer with me, but I'm not worried at all about a tent in the wind. It seems really sturdy. I have pitched it really close to the ground. It's not too windy. The forecast winds of 20-22 miles an hour. But it's not budging at all. Morning. Still a little bit windy. I don't know if that's condensation or if it rained last night. proper Oliver Twist food, this. What about that for a little table? I think that's the thing with these longer trips, you've got to try and make the most of your gear. You can't be taking too much of it because you've got to carry it for lots of miles. If you get decent quality Ziploc bags, just take them home and wash them out. Then you can use them again. Washing up. Don't need much water to do it, just a tiny bit in the bottom. Worst thing about them cappuccino sachets, you get all this like foam that's stuck to your mug. So the wind seems to have died off a little bit, which means it's probably best time to be packing up. I had a really good sleep last night, so I'm debating whether to take this or not on the Cumbria Way. It's a little bit heavier than the thermarest, but I do like these little pocket things. You don't get any pressure points at all. And it was only a couple of degrees last night and I was toasty warm inside this thermarest quilt. This weighs 500 grams or something like that. I think I'm going to be taking this though. It's either that or the UGQ Outlaw. But what's really impressed me is the tent. There's loads of space inside, incredibly easy to pitch up. So, you know, if I just want a little bit of shelter, it's 4 pegs and the trekking poles. And it stood up really well in the wind last night, which was my only concern really for the Lake District, but I'm feeling confident now. It's pretty rotten out here this morning. Not much of a view, look. Chris has already packed up. And Andy's got everything in bar the shelter. I must get a move on. That could have been a disaster. So there's just the tent to drop now. Then we've got to try and make our way off this hill. See, it's still holding up with just one pole. That was harder work than I thought. Can't believe how cold it is. Andy's measured it at 1 degree on his Skywatch. And the wind, that chill is just bitter. This valley is incredible. I think it's called Malastang Edge. Been waiting all morning for these views. You can see where all the stones broken off over hundreds, thousands of years. I just tag along and appreciate these stunning views, but if you want a little bit more information about all the places we've been to, the scenery, trig points and all that, I recommend you check out Andy Beavers and Chris Jepson Brown's channel. I will link them in the description below. They've both made detailed videos more about the location.